Famous children of famous children of famous children. After my first video in this series, I decided that I wanted to concentrate on people that were 3 generations, and I wanted to find a recent passing. So I just did a little search on, recent famous people who died. Of course, we know Luke Perry, which will probably be another video, which I'm very curious if he was at the stunt where they vaccinated everybody, because that's a side effect of the flu vaccine, having a stroke. However, I did a little search, and one of the things I read said that that whole thing was a hoax, that they didn't actually shoot people up with vaccines. But that was just one guy's opinion who was there. He said he watched it and that he could tell it was fake. But I don't know. Anyways, so let's go on down here, and I found the one. As soon as I saw the name, I knew I was there, and I didn't know Katherine Helmond has passed. We all remember her from Brazil, as well as Soap. Well, maybe we don't all remember her. As soon as I saw this name, I knew this was the one I was going to choose. It's the grandson of the famous Clark Gable. He's got tattoos, huh? Okay, so I'm just going to go through my tabs like I did the last time. I find that to be easiest, and then I edit out all my dead air. That's why sometimes it jumps a little bit. And my ums. I try to edit out my ums. So Clark James Gable III was the host of the reality TV show Cheaters. He died February 22nd, 2019. They say that they didn't immediately decide what caused his death, but that it was not considered suspicious. 30-year-old died, and they don't consider it suspicious. Okay. So I finally found out how to not show the ads. Isn't that wonderful? You go up to the top under View, and down at the bottom of that menu, you choose Enter Reader View. I did not know that, and I'm glad I do. So let's look through this. American actor and model, started at the age of 5, modeling for designers including Prada, Disney, Converse. He appeared in some music videos, and then he was hosting something called Cheaters. He liked to surf, box, ride dirt bikes, and fly RC planes. He lived in Malibu, California. He studied acting at the New York Film Academy and completed his first major motion picture while studying abroad in Italy. He was in Dallas, Texas for filming when he died, is what I read. Some of the quotes down here really struck me. The name means a lot to me. It opened a lot of doors. It also carries a lot of expectations. I want to create a new legacy for my family because I feel the ball got dropped by a generation. I want to pick it back up and do what I can with it. Which is interesting because his father is called a well-known actor as well. Now, I don't know these people because I gave up TV and following all that stuff, but, they're humans living on the planet. And I'm covering this story because pretty sure all this stuff is cult related. He has a sister who is also an actor, or was. Born Kaylee Lorraine Gable. She was with Paris Hilton, I guess, in something. This is her stepfather, and this was what I found very interesting. This is the stepfather to the recently deceased Clark Gable III, as well as Kaylee. Now, if you read all this stuff, I don't understand this part. Friends from Jason's early years include Big Leg Peacher David Wells. Was he a child then too? Or are they saying he had a best friend who was an adult who was already famous? I'm not going to get into all that, but When he was only 19, he got to open for the Rolling Stones in Vienna in 1982 with some band or another. In 1985, Peter Cetera left the rock group Chicago. They considered Richard Page, and then they found Chef. So Chef was added to the band Chicago, and I find that to be an odd coincidence, given that the first video that I did on this also has a link to the band Chicago, and I had no idea. Like, I showed you how I found this information. But I'm going to scroll down here and just read a little bit. He's still very active, it says. This is his wife, Tracy Chef, who is the mother of the recently deceased Clark Gable III, as well as Kaylee. Oh, he's sung many of Chicago's best songs, including Will You Still Love Me? I had no idea. This is amazing. Another Chicago member. All right, so this is... All right, well, that was the stepfather. The mother does not have an IMDb page, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Let me scroll down here and see if her name is highlighted. No. She doesn't have an IMDb page. She doesn't do things like that, I guess. This is the father, the biological father of the deceased Clark Gable III. It says that he's known for these things, but I've never heard of those things. But then again, I live under a rock. He was born 4 months after his father's death. I read that somewhere else. Tracy Yarrow, who is now Tracy Chef, was a hairdresser, and he inherited $400,000 from the estate of his father. And that's about as far as I got with that. So this is the father, Clark Gable, grandfather of the recently deceased Clark Gable III. Now, I watched this special, this man's channel. He just does little biographies of famous people. And I like his voice, I like his presentations. And I saw this, I don't know, a few years ago, or last year, or something like that. It's a good little overview of Clark Gable's life. That's how I know a few things about him. And get back to some other pages. We all know about Clark Gable and who he is. But they're all related here. Alright, so Judy Lewis, I thought this was interesting. This is the love child of Clark Gable. And she was active. And if you read her bio, all these really sound like people, they sound like cult. She's passed now. I don't remember if it shows it on this page or not. Former model and actress. Her mother had her ears surgically altered at 7 because she didn't want anybody to know that she was Clark Gable's daughter. That's pretty serious. Her best friend, which I found to be interesting, was the little girl who played Rhett Butler's daughter in Gone with the Wind. They were only a year apart in age. I just found that to be very interesting. And then if you look down through this, I mean, all these networks and connections. She was married twice. Her father-in-law from her second marriage was involved with Disney films. There's something else really deep in that. She's in Bambi. She's a voice in Bambi, but uncredited. Oh, right. The stepdaughter of Herbert T. Kalmus, the founder of Technicolor Corps. So, all these connections. So then I went over here to YouTube. Obviously, I showed you this one already, the Clark Gable mini documentary on the Jerry Skinner channel. This is, an interview. Wow. Alright, so, the comments on here are the interesting thing. I didn't even watch the video, to be honest with you. This is an informative. Informative video, just has the basic information. Now this one is pretty amazing. And I just wanted to freeze frame it on this one and notice Getty images. Getty is highly related to the cult, and they're on a bed, they're black and white. It's very odd. I don't understand. The pillows being positioned this way, like a pyramid, probably means something. How many ever bricks are showing? I don't want to analyze things like that, but we all know that they love their symbols. But down here is where it's very interesting. Hollywood legend Clark Gable's son refuses to pay for his estranged son's funeral. Now we would be talking about the father, John Clark Gable, of this young man, Clark Gable III, who just passed in February. Got to get back to where it was. Okay. The son of Hollywood legend Clark Gable has refused to pay for his own son's funeral or let him be buried in the Gable family plot, according to shocking text messages posted online. Clark Gable III, the movie star's 30-year-old grandson, was found dead in his bed by his fiancée last Friday. If they took him out for some kind of a sacrifice thing, they just make these stories up. His sister Kaylee Gable, 32, said she called her estranged father, John Clark Gable, who was 57, to tell him about the tragic news. But she claims he hung up on her and sent a nasty text message, which she posted on Facebook. "I'm sorry for your loss. This is what I want. Cremate him. He's not going in my family's plot, and I'm not paying for anything," John wrote in a text. The family's plot is located at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Los Angeles, where Clark Gable is buried. I'm wondering if that's the same plot about Carol Lombard and all that. All of you use my father's name in disgrace, and you don't want me to go to the media, believe me. Leave me and my father out of this drug mess. There are no services on my end. Kaylee is to never call me. Sorry for your loss. I'm done. It's just that simple. Respect my wishes. In her Facebook post, Kaylee shot back at her father, claiming that he tortured us, got us high, and did drugs in front of us as kids. Those are all cult-like behaviors. Mackenzie Phillips, all that stuff, right? "I'm sorry, as my brother is in a coffin and I'm standing up for him, as I always have, and the world needs to know the truth. I'm putting this out before you start telling lies," she wrote. John, F you. You're the one who got us high on drugs and did drugs in front of us as kids and tortured us, and especially Clark. So I'm going to write a book and let the world know the truth. I'm disgusted I'm related to you. Bring it on. You're the druggie. Kaylee also posted a page from a back copy of a celebrity magazine from around 2006 showing photos of her father leaving a courthouse to head to rehab with what appears to be several needle marks on his arm. Daily Mail attempted to reach them. Oh, this must be from a Daily Mail article. Tracy Sheff did an exclusive interview. Oh, John had a brother who died at age 27 of an overdose. and his girlfriend's death in 2012 was linked to prescription medication. Chef said that although her son's cause of death is not yet known. Oh, was he at the award ceremony where they did all the vaccines? He had previously struggled with drug addiction, because that would be really amazing if all the people that were there at the award show that received those shots, if they were in fact some sort of a shot, are dropping like dead, then that would be kind of important for the vaccine truth movement. She said that John had big addiction problems. She says that her husband now, the singer and bass player for Chicago, has been sober for 32 years, and they've been together for 27. She says all of her kids have struggled with drugs, although her youngest right now is a year sober and he's doing great. Her daughter's pregnant. She's doing great. That would be Kaylee. All right, and then we're going to move on. Oh yeah, and that's going to be about that thing. Now, this was some information about the father, John Clark Gable. That's the name of the woman, his girlfriend who passed away. Oh, look, it tells you if he's gay or not. Now, he's worth $5 million. $5 million, although he only inherited $400,000. It says he gathered his earning from his acting career, although it only lists 3 films, and they're very spaced apart. And if he had drug problems, I mean, I don't know. That sounds weird. Christiane died at his mansion in 2012. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office discovered the death of Christiane on 11th of April. That sounds kind of weird. The way they've worded that. That might be, I don't know. That's something even more interesting. Yeah, this is where I read that he lost his life at the hospital, but they said he was already dead. And it says that his mother took to Instagram to confirm the death and state some things. Yeah, they all say that he was on drugs. That was the last time he ever posted his photo online. And this just goes on. See what this one is. Oh, well, apparently there is a bio here of Tracy Chef. He has a toddler daughter named Shore that he's leaving behind. But this is what I want to show you. This is his mother's Instagram. If you don't like it, don't look. Okay, this is a devil sign. This is a zombie sign. If you don't like it, don't look. Mother to 4 brain eaters. Grandma ZZ to 2.5 bloodsuckers. Wife to a hunk of meat. And I don't even want to click this. I don't know if that's like how to get to her page. But this is weird. Reaper Hetty. This black lipstick. Mother to 4 brain eaters. This is weird. It doesn't. How do I see things that she's posted? I really don't know how to work this thing. So, oh my God. I got to see what kind of stuff to know this is. That's a really pretty child with love eyes. Her eyes are completely black. This is so strange. I think this probably needs to be archived. I don't really know how to archive things like this. View all. Now maybe there's some way to select all. Well, there you go. I'll try that. See what happens. Okay. So this is all very odd. I'm pretty sure, oh, here we go, highlights. They're wearing the death makeup. I'm pretty sure that we can just keep on finding, oh my God. Okay, this is some candles. This is some kind of artwork which looks naked. This is naked Bambina. What? That's showing starvation. These people are sick.